All right, guys, how are you? I hope you're doing well and everything is fine with you, apart from the commotion in Kenya, right? So, you've been talking about Tauro. All right, now in Kenya, it seems we have some small Tauros that are actually scaring the government. If not for that, why should anybody be following them, Let's talk about the first one, the latest, The latest in the house is the commotion at Governor NATEMBEA's home in Kitale, right? So if you are online today, it's just that I didn't have time to create this bunker earlier enough. So, I wonder if you are a leader and you actually believe people love you and you're doing the right thing, why the hell should be scared about, a mere governor? A governor that is not even close to Senate, he's not close to a presidential position, right? So why should you be scared? You are leading a whole nation. This person is just leading one county. So people in the house get to tell me if I'm not wrong. This means that there is something in government. The government is afraid of something and they are informed, or they are rather aware of what power some of these people are. And from there, people don't like people who are brave. Let me tell you, if you want to have fewer friends, be yourself. Be yourself. You won't even be liked even from the family, because you are always bold, saying who is not giving what and who is not, doing the right thing. You are always there at workplace, telling somebody whether you don't like their nose or whether you don't like the way they use the toilet. So you think you will be liked. No. People don't like bold people. I've only seen one person saying they don't like sycophants, or rather hypocritical people, pretentious animals. We call them human beings, but I can call them animals, because why should you have a head and you don't use it, actually? I can't work against my emotions. If I don't like you, I don't like you. I can't smile at you. Okay, so forget about that. Now, let's get to this bunker about the commotion at Governor NATEMBEA's home. Now, how did it start? Remember, it started long ago. If you are in the funeral of the father to the speaker, if you know our speaker, you know, of course, in Kenya. That is where it started. And even before, because NATEMBEA had come out straight talking about, critiquing the abductions, the murders. And then now in that funeral, that is where we saw Kimani Ichung'wah and Nyoro and all that now talking about the way NATEMBEA was involved in past in homicide, which we are not actually sure. Is it homicide or murder of many? So guys, if you have missed out on the video about the commotion that NATEMBEA,
hey guys, right here. Yeah. This is exactly what happened at Kitale, right? You can see the locals actually, trying to...
I don't have first-hand information, but from what we gather, the government is actually creating fracas and saying they are attacking those who are, inciting citizens. Now, I wonder how NATEMBEA has been inciting. When he talks about what is not happening, because if you are a president and you believe you are doing it, then you shouldn't be scared. Why worry about one person who is going about talking? Of course, when they do, in case they are spreading lies about you, they are promoting your name. I like when people go about lying about me. In fact, I just encourage them through internet, my status, and when I'm around them, mock them and make sure that they can go about lying more and more about me. Because if I'm knowing that I'm standing with the truth and doing what is right, then I don't have to be bothered. But now when you go about now attacking physically, like claiming to be arresting everyone in the country because you believe that they are against you. Hey, here we need Tauro. We need Tauro, yeah? So I'll be playing a video for you again. But meanwhile, did you see how the citizens, I really give, I think we should be appraising these citizens. You know, it is for the first time I saw citizens defending someone who stands for the truth. Gachagua, you were let down by many. Only one person from Jomba stood with you and few members, but the rest. So I think the lawyers from Kitale have shown you a different thing. Or is it because it's metropolitan instead of one group? You know, Gachagua was just about Murima. But here in Kitale, it's about a variety of people. And so, of course, NATEMBEA was defended. Yeah? Hey, so, if you actually know what you want, if it is the president or whatever it is, I don't know, that was misadvice. If at all, that is what happened. You know, like now, today's quote, disregard for law is anarchy to what? Yeah, so guys, if you heard today, we are talking about disregard for the law and gateway to anarchy. So if you think about it, do you think in Kenya we are in anarchy? So if you don't believe it, now look at what happened at NATEMBEA's place. Of course, it was invaded, you know, claims that he had been inciting. I don't know who he has been actually inciting. So it seems the freedom of speech is no longer there and expression. Yeah, we know freedoms have limitations, but then to how far should they be limited? Anyway, of course, you know, Gachagua was just at Obina. Of course, he invited them in the home. They didn't go to Obina's show. And during that show, do you know what happened? Bam! So, it seems it was Pepe. Pepe for the government. Pepe. So when Pepe comes, you don't stand around it. You run away. Yeah. So, of course, our government ran away. And how did it run? It ran by ensuring that when that interview was going on, the signals could not actually show the people. You know, when people could try to log into Obina Live, they wouldn't. So TikTok did it. The world is a funny place. You know, with the IT, sometimes you can't stop the ball from rolling. Yeah. So, of course, when somebody is playing down the hill, don't expect to block the ball. So, right. And I think you saw Gachagua and how he was talking. He was saying he's very free. And, of course, with his free time, he can now use it to unveil, to open all the secrets. The Pandora, let it go. Yeah. Yeah. So he's actually playing the game. And of course, remember, he was very quiet after he was actually, you know, plucked out of his position. Then, pop, from nowhere, he began speaking. That aura. Do you understand what I'm talking about? If you don't know about it, then forget about it. And guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing to this channel, because actually I have been moving from one place to another, trying to get this and this, catch up on this and this, but I know with time I'm going to catch up, and I'll be the queen of everything here, the CEO of this edutainment for us, giving you news after news. Remember, I have 3 more channels, but they're just coming slowly by slowly. Yeah, they say one step at a day, by day makes it. That's what I'm doing, strides by strides. So if you remember Gachagua's interview with Obina, and he was sharing how he's now free, he can even create poems, and I'm expecting the poems should be political, of course. Now people are like, hey, of course, politicians, when they fail, that is what they do. But we out there as reactors, you may have other thoughts about what is happening. But as for me, what I believe is that, of course, politics wants war. If you cannot fight, if you are faint heart, you cannot get into politics, my friend. So let me tell you, even if you will say that Gachagua is there trying to fight over because he lost it, he's, I don't know, recently somebody said that he was doing... You know, there was this speech, somebody saying that if president had to tolerate this for all that time, that he cannot communicate. I don't know, because I've not seen actually him struggling, only that he's too frank. You know, I told you from the beginning of the program that when your mouth is open and you are telling the whole truth, you are never liked. Never. Even us online, sometimes you go sharing some things and people are like, I don't like it, you're so boring. It's because you are saying the truth, yeah? You are giving them banker. So banker after banker now is, suffocating them, yeah? Okay. Now let's go straight to the point, and I want you to just see this small video about Martha Karua, because remember, if you don't know, Martha Karua and other prominent people were actually deported from Tanzania when they were going to somewhere known as Kotu, right? Yeah, so they were deported and were still asking, hey, uimla unaendeleza kazi. I know many Tanzanians have made such videos, uimla unafanya kazi. If you don't know what I mean by uimla is dictatorship. Dictatorship is under poor leadership. If you've done The Samaritan by John Lara, you understand what I'm talking about, right? Now you understand what I am here for. My channel is supposed to entertain, give education and entertain. And the reaction, of course, documentaries are come along so that we are making history as we go by. So if you don't know why I am here, then begin learning why I'm here. So let's get to this small video before we proceed,
or is it
right?
execution?
Yeah.
Torture. Look at the abuse of public funds, public resources, and all the wrong things that are happening that we can renovate. State House, all offices of Dr. William Ruto, but we don't have money for vaccines or for children's examinations. Really, disregard for the law is the gateway to anarchy.
Oh my goodness.
The African mother of dictatorship, where everybody wants to tell you why you should cough and where. It is Africa where even at work, people want to determine who you should be. Yes, that is why I plan to be the CEO of my own company, right? I can't keep working under, slavery, a place where people want to define you and mold you into some other clay. God created us once and he's the only one with the mandate to change us. Now, guys, this is me for you. Now, let's get back to Tanzania. And remember, in Tanzania, we have a Kenyan activist. All of you know him, Hussein Khalid, Hanifa, and ex-CJ Mutunga, who are detained in Tanzania. Talk of Africa, my goodness. You have not even forgotten what happened to Besigye recently. He was in, and he's growing all like a prune. You look at him, you cannot actually believe that he's the same person whom the former wife of Museveni fell in love with. Actually, this doctor is growing old. He has failed to doctor himself, if I have to say, in what you don't know. And if you don't know, then you don't know. But I know there are those who are getting it. So if you don't know about it, I always say forget about it. Now, guys, let's come back to Tanzania and ask ourselves, is this lady, you know her, right? Is she turning into a dictator? This is dictatorship for Africa. Of course, when you walk around Africa, many of the leaders are dictatorial. And when they get into office, they don't want to leave. Or even if they said one term, then they go and change the game. Now, remember GACHAGUA recently was there talking about one term, and everybody has been making fun on TikTok about that. What do you think? Is this what is scaring him, that is making him go around and send the police to arrest and all that, people to raid homes? Some even don't have the official numbers on their vehicles and all that. Now, remember, as we are speaking, SALASYA was in court today. I don't know if you've actually interacted with the video. So I don't know how many of you have interacted with that video. And of course, when he was taken to court after arrest and 3 days, I think there are 3 days, the claim is that he has been inciting people and posting negative information that is not truthful. I don't know whether this relates to the situation of Mombasa or what exactly is this, Now, the case will be incitement. And when actually they come to court, let's see what they have to say.
There are two other issues which has been raised. The first one is about violation of accused rights in the courts of rights, as well as another
So
application.
if you are a singer in Luya context, for example, which song would you sing here? Sing Salasya in court, Mlimani law courts. And the fact that he was arrested in his suit, the red tie and the white top, and his rasta, the wagwan ganja man hair. Yeah, so of course, remember Salasya has been a force to reckon, even though there have been, you know, like a propaganda coming up. People saying that Salasya is actually with the government and he's been told to vie for presidential seat so that he spoils the votes. Actually, we don't know yet the truth, but we are yet to see. Nothing happens in Kenya and we fail to see. We will obviously see whatever people are talking about, and if it has to be, it will come. So guys, you know who Salasya is, and of course he's a voice to reckon. People, many political leaders, of course there is a day, you remember the day Ruto actually was telling him to sit down and work for the people, because he would actually asked about the advisor. There is also a situation whereby he's talked openly about the abductions and so many other things. So much and much is going to come. But in this video, actually what I can see is that the president, if he doesn't know, he's trying to uplift these people without knowing. Because look at the wars, yeah? The wars against Salasya, the war against Gachagua, and many other, and NATEMBEA. You know, those wars are not necessary. He better sit down and enhance progress, you know. Let his manifesto be actually realized by the citizen, not him, you know. For our president, many times he realizes the manifesto himself. You'll talk about how many roads, how many markets have been built, even markets which we don't want, actually. The places where we don't actually need a market because there is nothing to sell, and if there is, you can actually acquire it from farmers directly. You know, roads which sometimes are not necessary because they are main roads which we want them to be built. We want health care. Our parents are sick. Sometimes you have to dip into the pocket and you don't have that cash. You know, we want that education whereby students go to university the way we used to go, and you pay very little and, you know, accomplish your degree. We want a situation where jobs are there. People finish and they get jobs. We want a situation whereby I can run business and acquire that money. You know, like today, we don't feel that money. It's so hard to run a business currently in Kenya, actually, if you are running business like I'm doing. Not easy, man. Not easy. So bye-bye, fellas. We are going to meet in another video. This one was done at night, and so I don't like doing videos at night. Sometimes they create a dull, you know, kind of situation. Anyway, I've done it. Bye-bye for now. Let's meet again. Love you.